What's up, dudes? Welcome back to Duty's Daggers. No cut test this morning. Instead, I wanted to talk about a really epic kind of pair of knives for EDC that I've really been enjoying carrying a lot recently. And I want to bring up a kind of a more budget alternative to this pair. So the pair I'm talking about, Spyderco Shaman and the Spyderco Little Native Wharncliffe. This is an absolutely epic pair for EDC. You have kind of a, heavy duty, kind of super ergonomic cutter capable of, hard use tasks, but also nice and slicey at the same time. Compression lock, extremely good ergos, great action. And then you have kind of a smaller Wharncliffe style blade for smaller stuff, for utility cutting. Anytime you want to kind of do a little more of a detailed kind of precise cut, this is absolutely just really good. You can get your pointer finger all the way out to the tip. I love how you can hold this thing. This finger kind of wraps around in the choil. Pointer finger goes right on the tip, and the rest of my fingers are kind of just wrapped around the whole handle. So I feel like I have a lot of control over this thing. Get a ton of pressure into the tip. This is a really smooth compression lock for being such a small, kind of light blade. I mean, look at that. It's falling shut. And it took about a week for it to break in this way, but it broke in so good. Full grip on it, even though it's a small knife, choked up. S30V blade steel on this one, 15V on the Shaman, but you can get there's a bunch of different blade steels on the Shaman. So this is just a really epic pair. I really like having kind of a larger, kind of more heavy duty primary carry, and then if I'm carrying a second knife, which most of the time I am, if it's not this, it's usually an Ohio Riverjack slip joint. But it's always the Wharncliffe Ohio Riverjack. So I like to have a smaller Wharncliffe in the pocket if my primary is not already a Wharncliffe. I like to have a sheepsfoot or Wharncliffe knife on me almost at all times because I do a lot of utility cutting. I'm cutting out cardboard templates for fabrication purposes. Just everyone does a lot of utility cutting, even for just opening packages. This is probably a better choice than the Shaman. You have that really nice low tip, very thin. This is a great cutter too. I have cut tests videos on both of these knives actually. But despite being a smaller knife, this does really, really, really well. Wire pocket clip on this one, and even though it's a small knife, it's really easy to reverse flick, really easy to thumb flick as well, and really easy to use the compression lock. It's one of the best small knives out there. Now both of these together, it's pricey, about $400 for both of these. Shaman around $250, Little Native around $150. That's pricey. Now I didn't buy these at the same time. Obviously I spaced them out so that I could afford them. But still, that's a lot of money, man. Maybe you can't afford that, or you don't want to spend that much money on a knife or knives. I have a really, really good alternative for this pair. And it is the Civivi Praxis and the Cold Steel Tuff Lite, baby. Look at that. Let me see if I can get both of them on camera. See if I can do this. Can I do this? Check it out. Very, very similar. We have a larger, heavy-duty, kind of great ergonomics on the larger knife, and then we have a smaller Wharncliffe knife. So let's compare the two large knives first of all, the Praxis and the Shaman. Very similar size, similar, pretty similar looks even. Neutral handles that are really, really comfy, kind of a broad blade, but very, very slicey. The Praxis is actually more slicey than the Shaman. I mean, look at the blade stock difference. Yeah, the Praxis is way slicier. I mean, the Shaman can slice, but this is a mega slicer. They both have choke up spots. The one on the Praxis here is really comfy. Just really good ergonomics, man. Very similar ergonomics to the Shaman. I've actually heard this compared to the Shaman a few times as being kind of almost a budget Shaman. And when they're right next to each other, you can really see why. Very comparable. This one's on bearings though, so it's a bit smoother. We got a flipper only. Actually, for a while, I had those kind of clamp on quick studs on this knife, and it was actually pretty good. So you can add that if you really want thumb studs. Or you can slow roll it. You can kind of pinch it out, slow roll it out that way. The blade steel on here is 9CR 18 MOV, which is, it's not that bad really. I haven't had a problem with the edge retention on this thing. Obviously, it's not going to be as good as the 15V or the S30V on the Shaman that you get, but it's going to be pretty decent. And for about 42 bucks, this is a really, really good knife. And there's also a mini Praxis that's really good too. Now let's talk about the Tuff Lite. Very similar to the Little Native. Very, 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 very similar. Both have really nice choke up spots for forward finger twirls. In fact, all four of these knives have great choke up spots. Now this is going to run you, I think, about 35 bucks. The total for both of these is $75. So we're looking at $400 versus $75. Now this has a hollow grind instead of a full flat grind. Very similar blade shape though. Similar ergonomics. The clip is really my only big issue with it. It's only in one position. It's only a tip down pocket clip position. It is left or right reversible though. Not the end of the world, but I think it does hurt the ergonomics just a little bit. Not really that much. This is a really comfortable knife to hold on to. It fills out your hand even a little bit nicer than the Little Native. Just a little bit kind of a thicker handle in both dimensions. Now we have a triad lock instead of the compression lock. So a little bit slower one-handed use, but you can do it. We have a hole for deployment, just like the Little Native. That is reverse flickable, not quite as easy, but I can get it. You kind of just pull back, put your pointer finger back in here, push down the back lock there, let it fall, reposition your hand, and snap it shut. I do like the kind of snappiness. It's got some good sounds to it when you roll it out. Snap. Snap. I like that. Thumb flick as well. And this is a great cutter. I have a cut test video on this one as well. Really a good cutter, man. Very, very good. Great utility cutter. We have plastic FRN handles, which have a little bit of texture on them for more grippiness. And the blade steel here is AUS 8A. So definitely a downgrade from the S30V, but not bad at all. I didn't notice in my cut testing video that it seemed to be losing an edge super fast or anything. Just kind of what you'd expect from a blade steel like this. So there you go, 75 bucks. Great EDC pair. 400 bucks. Really great EDC pair. As far as like your day-to-day uses, I mean, you're not going to notice a whole ton of difference, to be honest with you. Besides, you're going to have to be kind of upkeeping the edge a bit more often on the cheaper alternatives. But as far as like ergonomics, hold on, I'm doing this the wrong way. As far as ergonomics, as far as the capabilities, the cutting capabilities of all of these, you're not going to notice a whole ton of difference, honestly. Obviously, I like Spyderco more. They're just a little bit, fit and finish is a little bit better. All around, just a bit better. Ergonomically, I would choose this over these, just barely though. So, there you go. I thought this was a really great comparison. Very similar knives. You can own both if you want, like me, if you're crazy You don't even have to choose. You could have both. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to try to link all these down below, so you can go check them out, see how much they are. Again, 400 bucks, 75 bucks. There you go. Hope you enjoyed, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Adios.